I am delighted to introduce our next award recipient, who certainly knows Anne, Will Steger. Will is a polar explorer and environmental ambassador. He has spent his life exploring the Arctic and Antarctic, and he has used his platform to educate and motivate generations of people to care for the Earth. Will is a pioneer in polar exploration, and he is a leading voice in the fight against climate change. Please join me in watching a short video about Will Steger, and then he will join me here to accept his award.
I always like the challenges, and you're in this constant cold and you can't dry out. It's when it becomes very hideous for people. When we traveled through these valleys and that, we always would have a wolf that would travel with the dogs. It was like the Garden of Eden. At first it was so brutal, but there was an attraction to me that I had to this open space. And I think maybe it was the open spaces that did it. Probably what a sailor would feel like on an open ocean. But in 1986, I led a team of 8 people, 50 dogs, unsupported to the North Pole. And all the authorities said you could never do it. But essentially exploration, whatever you're exploring, it's actually an exploration of yourself because you're learning. When I saw Antarctica for the first time, I was awestruck at what I saw. In that awe, my first reaction is that this ice is going to dictate the future of humanity. It's a place that's going to affect your life forever, and your children's life, and your children's children's life. When the ice shelves break off, what happens if New York goes under when it does, and Miami is going to go for sure. That was all around the preservation of Antarctica because the treaty nations, 27 treaty nations had voted to open up Antarctica for minerals. And we were able to, through that expedition and the work that we did internationally, we were able to reverse all 27 votes. So 30 years ago I worked with world leaders and I had that experience. But I felt the Steger Center is well timed for this because what is really lacking in our decision making is to be in a place where you're grounded, where you're around nature, and I see this as a Camp David in the wilderness, and that's what I've been building here for the last 35 years. Originally, when I had this vision, it was way before the climate went out of control. But now, especially this summer now, the summer that the temperature boiled around the Earth, I think everybody finally sees it. You can't make it to the North Pole anymore by dog team because of the open ocean. All the ice shelves that I've traveled on in the polar regions, north and south, not there anymore. We still have our same old materialistic habits, and almost 50% of the population that they didn't have anything to do with this problem, and they're in droughts right now, in hunger, and this is just starting. We're going to have to move fast to, find solutions and mainly adapt. How we're going to adapt around this. The solutions to climate, it's economics. It's creating these new jobs, not just in clean energy, but infrastructure in general. These new jobs are going to be the way we're going to survive. A lot of the work that I've done, national and international, is really policy work. It's all about bringing leaders together and building that relation and communicating with each other. But I feel the center and the legacy I hopefully will leave behind has that type of substance that will attract world leaders. But it's developing this new way of living. The solutions are really, it's a higher quality, a little simpler life. What I've learned in 25 years of leading international expeditions, it's really the teamwork. You can do almost the impossible with a strong team. You come up with the right ideas. And in terms of how do you work with world leaders, well, you first start here with pilot programs, locally within Minnesota, then gradually building out. It's a moral imperative that we come together. I'm very hopeful.
Please join me in congratulating Will Steger, everyone. Will, please come on up.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisha, for the introduction, and thank everybody for coming out today. And you know, when I was starting to plan for the evening, I asked one of the organizers, Val, what should I talk about? What's a good topic? And she said, well, talk about gratitude. And I think it's very fitting for me, especially here looking out at all of our public servants. I mean, a whole room full of public servants. Many of you are my colleagues and friends and workers and people in the government, industry that we worked with for over the last 20-some years. And we all have a common goal, and that's for the public, to make this a better world for the children and the children to come. And now it's about survival. But it's survival is the challenge, and I'm an expert in survival, and this is real possible to do. But getting back to gratitude, for me it was hard to talk about gratitude in a way because it's very personal to me. Gratitude is, for myself, it's not about words. The true sense of gratitude, when you experience the sense gratitude overcomes you. For myself, it's a really deep spiritual experience. It's similar to being humbled by the natural forces, in that there's this incredible presence that overcomes and just fills us. And I'm sure that we've all had these moments of where your bottom lip trembles from the presence in the face of the higher power. In the case of gratitude, we're overwhelmed with a blessing, and it's a state of being. It's a state that only exists in the present moment. It's expressed through emotion. I mean, if you look up the definition of gratitude, all you see is emotion, emotion, emotion. Emotion is a symptom of that deep feeling of gratitude, something that I very seldom even talk about. Because I feel if you're talking about gratitude, especially when you're relating it to yourself and wearing it on your sleeve, it's more of a self perpetuation of your views and so forth. But so the physical expression is this strong emotion that overcomes us, and with this emotion is this natural impulse to talk about this really joy that we're having, and that's where I have problems with gratitude and talking about it, because once it turns into words, you lose that emotion. You know, almost any time when I've been humbled or experienced a sense of gratitude, I've always tried to kind of ride with that emotion, just ride with it and kind of let it go through myself so I can remain in that presence, in that true state of inspiration. And this is gratitude. And this evening, you know, looking out at all the friends and what the Humphrey School represents, you know, I really feel a deep sense of gratitude for everything, everybody here. It's an affirmation of our life's purpose right here. And it's, for me, it's for everyone that has helped me along my path, and all the blessings and goodwill that have come my way. I'm an extremely blessed person. I'm so fortunate just to be living and surviving things to tell about what I've experienced in the real world out there. And my life in public service would really be hollow if it wasn't for the lifetime of kindness and commitment of others that reflects in this award that I receive and everyone else receives, and we're all part of the awards. We're all committed to the same thing. So I was also told by Val to keep it short, and I'll do that, and I'll conclude it because our evening's long. But I really would like to thank the Humphrey School for everything they're doing, not only for this evening, but for everything that you've accomplished through the Institute and through the school. And also for the contributions of everyone here for public service and public leadership. We're all leaders because we're here. And thank you so much for this great honor. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a physical word.
Yeah, come on.